If you watch this video, I am going to prove to you how your non-conscious emotions are preventing you from reaching your goals, as well as causing anxiety, procrastination, overwhelm. Our negative emotions literally ruin our lives. My name's Krystyna Lennon. I'm a psychologist, psychotherapist, and named World's Best Hypnotist by CBS. I have worked with A-list celebrities and I have an O1 visa for America as an expert in my field. So back to the good stuff. Our emotions can literally render us paralyzed. If you have a strong feeling of fear, it can stop you from actually moving. It can make you feel ill. It can stop you from being able to breathe properly. So any kind of fear around this, especially if it's emotional, it can completely get you off track. So when you are heading towards your goals, you have to get past all of these feelings. And lots of people say, pride, really? Is that a negative emotion? Absolutely. Pride can stop you from doing something completely. So if you want to reach your goals, you have to deal with these emotions. Emotions very often anchor us back to a time where we first felt it. So for instance, I had a severe anxiety about going into buildings. This was when I was a rep and my job was to go into buildings. I ended up losing my job because of this anxiety. If I couldn't see the signpost clearly labeled that this was a reception, I would end up going home. I'd feel severe anxiety, become paralyzed and go home. When I did an emotional clearance session, a memory that came up for me was sitting in a classroom and everybody started to laugh. And as I was sat there, I looked up and my dad was walking the wrong way around the building. The door was that side, he was walking that way. Everybody was laughing, pointing. In that moment, I felt fear and shame, embarrassment. So years later, I still have that emotional anchor, or had that emotional anchor leading me back to that event when I was just probably about 7 or 8 years of age. These are the emotional anchors, and that was something that I didn't have a huge impact on my life, so I thought. It was something that I'd completely forgotten about. It was a non-conscious trapped emotion. How do our emotions get in the way when we are trying to reach our health goals? It's common knowledge that if you are 10 pounds overweight, you are literally carrying your emotional baggage around with you for some kind of protection. And it doesn't need to be a big trauma or a significant event. I recently did an emotional clearance session with a client, and what came up for him was a photograph of him with a friend. In the photograph, he was much, much bigger than the friend. So he went through this relationship with this friend growing up, believing he was the big one. He felt like an ogre. Looking back now as an adult, he can look at that picture and realise that the other person was abnormally small for their age. But that gave him a non-conscious anchor for being big. So his self-image was big, he was big, he overate, he lived the self-image. Once we cleared that, he was able to clear that non-conscious anchor with being large. I had another client clear emotions of shame and lose 7 stone in 8 months when she had previously tried for years and years to lose that weight but yo-yo dieted. So clearing any of these negative emotions can help you reach your health goals. It will stop you overeating, binge eating, craving food. So, how are your emotions getting in the way on your journey to your wealth goals? Well, Dan Penner, the $50 billion man, says that our emotional account and our financial account are linked, and you will struggle to get to your wealth goals if you do not deal with your emotions. Now, I have seen this time and time again with clearing things like fear of success, fear of failure, fear of speaking on a camera, Fear of putting yourself out in the world can hugely impact the results you get. So we need to clear these emotions to successfully reach our wealth goals. Our emotions can get in the way of healthy relationships, whether it's an existing relationship or it's a goal to have a relationship. Something like jealousy, for instance. If you were cheated on, if you were betrayed in some way in a relationship, you will carry that with you to your next relationship if you don't first clear it. It's going to prevent you having a happy, relaxed, loving relationship. So clearing the jealousy will help you have that fulfilling relationship that you desire. Emotional clearance is just one of a few strategies I help my clients with to reach their goals. If you want the full strategy, type yes below